I guess no countdown, so we're gonna get right into it, man. Don't know what's going on StreamYard, but man, oh man, doesn't go without saying, man. Isn't it great to be alive on a 9:30 night on a Wednesday evening, right here with your boys, reporting eligible, bringing you another banger this evening, but a little bit more of a banger than most shows, man. This one is an absolute honor and a privilege to have a draft day hopeful to have his name called, man. That's exactly what all the draftees will like on draft night, right? But without further ado, man, we're gonna bring on this young man out of Temple, safety Andreas Keaton, on to reporting eligible, man. Andreas Keaton, what is going on, young man? How you doing, man?
Man, life's been good, man. Just taking it day by day and enjoying every moment, man. I appreciate y'all having me on.
Absolutely, man. We definitely thank you for taking the time to come in, just rock with us for a little bit, have
Cool.
some questions about you during this draft process. And then you went home and did it and put on for the city, for what I understand. So we gotta get a glimpse of what that was like from you, man. Some little hidden gems that you can tell us about what's going on with the organization, man. But bro talk, what's going on with you, man?
Nah, man, it's great. Like you said, it's a great day to be here. We got a draft prospect hopeful. Hopefully, we'll see his name called. Hopefully for the Falcons. I'd love to have Andreas here. I think he could add to the defensive back room. But either way, like we were saying backstage, someone that has a shot to make it to the NFL, we have him here, and we get to look, bring the audience some inside scoop. Maybe some people haven't seen what it's like to go through the process as someone like Andreas. So I'm eager to talk to him.
Yeah. So we're gonna start from the beginning, man. Your passion for football started, I would imagine, at a young age. But what has kept you in that mindset that I'm here to be a NFL player or a football player overall? Take us through, some of the critical moments in your life as you was coming up in the game of football.
Okay. Well, I got into football because my dad was a coach,
Mm.
and over at the Little League Park, and I was around the game at a young age because he was the president of the park. He was the head coach of this, that, and the third. So me being around the game since I was 3 years old, all I heard was whistles and football and practice drills going on in the background while I'm running around the field. So that's when and then it naturally just I just naturally adapted to the environment and just fell in love with it, man. So that's how I started. I fell in love with the game, but that's how I started, and then ever since then, I just took it and ran with it, man. Kept progressing every year.
That's amazing, man. That's
Yes,
So
sir.
amazing.
so now that you're at that point, you're getting ready for the NFL draft. How much influence does your dad still have? I don't know what his career looked like football wise now that he's a head coach. What would you say as far as guidance, besides being, a football mind, has he helped you navigate the process?
Man, my dad is best dad to ever do it. He shows he shows me life, and of course he did everything he could on the field with me, and it's still some more stuff we're doing, but off the field, he just showed me how to battle life. He's a great father-like figure, and he knows how to teach his son how to battle through adversity. Because we all know life ain't easy, and we all face our
Mhm.
obstacles and our challenges. And my dad is someone. Anytime I look through that window, I can see him, and I can battle them. Them challenges, this, that, and the third. And my dad's just a guy that's always going to find a way, and he's not going to complain about it, or he's not going to look for any excuse. He's just gonna get the job done consistently too. So he's played a big role in me. Yes, sir.
That's awesome
That's,
to hear, man.
that's awesome to hear, brother. That really is awesome to hear,
Yes,
man.
sir.
So collegiately, right? You entered the portal a couple years back, coming from Western Carolina.
Yes,
What
sir.
was the decision like? Why did you ultimately you chose Temple University to go there for the Temple Owls? What was that choice like, and what was that process like to enter the portal, and and why Temple?
Okay. Well, the portal was came in freshman 2021. So the portal wasn't like when I came in as a 2021. Portal was a lot more hectic now, but
Yeah.
it still had its bites to it. And after my freshman year at Western Carolina, I had a pretty good year and did some good things. And it was a lot of talk for me to go ahead and get in the portal now. When I was a freshman right after that year, and then I played again at Western State there, showed out, Then they want me to get in the portal again. Junior year is when I thought it was. I played that year and then into the portal after that. So it was always talk about me getting in the portal, and it was always teams that had those offers for me waiting as soon as I jump in the portal. But I just didn't think it was smart. Me or my family, we just wanted to stay at Western. Everything that I needed, it was right there in front of me. And it was some good ball being played there. Now, of course, we could all go to the big conferences down the third, but if it's good ball being played where you are, then and you're getting the recognition for it, it's no need to take it for granted. So after my junior year, I was more matured and more body was more mature, mindset was even more higher. So like that's when I felt like it was time. And then entered the portal. And theoretically, I think I entered the portal late. Theoretically, I only had one official visit weekend, and I took that up to Temple. Jumped in the portal, had a good amount of offers, but Temple was the one. It was just so many relationships from my past coaching staff that I
Okay.
had. Well, only my safeties coach that that I knew going to Temple, and it just felt right. It almost felt too good. So that was the main thing. The main thing about me and the porter was just making sure I find good relationships. You know what I mean? Talent's everywhere. You're gonna be able to play ball in front of the big stand, this, that, and the third, but the relationship is gonna take it further. So that was the main thing, and Temple had that and showed me a great time.
So you chose Temple for the right reasons, it sounds like, and relationships. Who doesn't like to go to a place that they know and are familiar with? But was there another school that you kind of had in the back that you were like, maybe I want to go there because it may be a program? I don't want to say Temple is not recognized because it is a part of one of the big conferences, but maybe get your name out there a little bit more. Was there a school out there?
Of course, it was a few other schools that, of course, that was in the picture that I could have did and it could have turned out worse or it could have turned out better. I don't regret making the decision I did, but it was always a school that was a few school, like 2, 3 schools that was always in the picture. It just Temple just felt even more. It just felt right. It's hard to explain. It just felt right though. Yes,
That's
sir.
amazing, man.
Awesome.
That's awesome, man. You spoke a little bit about adversity using the word. Now, gotta get to it, right? Temple had, not the greatest season, finished
Yeah.
3-9. So
Yes,
for
sir.
a player like yourself, the mindset, like how do you keep yourself focused and try to rally everyone around you when the team itself is facing the most adversity throughout the year? So how do you mentally prepare yourself to shoulder that being the captain, so to say, on the football team?
Of course. Well, a little backstory, and I might be talking a little too much, but a little backstory.
So it's
I
on you,
was
bro.
I was thrown in at Western Carolina. I was thrown in the fire fast. I was playing as a freshman, started all the games. So right then and there, I think that helped me prepare me for the adversity because I'm at a young age, 17, 18-year-old, playing ball, seeing the behind the scenes of college atmosphere, recognizing the environment, seeing what the business like. So being able to hold that and get thrown in that fire at a young age, I think it just helped me progress. You know what I mean? Western Carolina showed me a lot of good things and how to battle adversity and how to play good ball and how to keep your head on the right shoulder. So I took that to Temple, and I know we had a rookie season, but you have to still learn how to keep the main goal the main goal. You know what I mean? You can't let the outside noise or the record show your emotions. You have to stay grounded and stay humble through the process, but you have to make sure you keep the main thing, and that's going to take you further than the season, I would say. You know what I mean? So I think it just makes sure you have your mindset in the right area.
Mm,
Sure.
got you.
So, Berto, I'm not sure where you're going to segue to, but I'm eager to hear how the Atlanta Falcons Pro Day went.
Mhm.
Can
The,
you tell us
the,
a little
that
bit about how you felt the workout did, any coaches that you talked to, anything of that?
is the Atlanta Falcons Pro, they went real good.
Oh, hey
Yeah.
man, you from Powder Springs, right?
Hey, I'm a Georgia baby myself. Yes,
All
sir.
right, all right, all right, all right, man. So it'll be sweet to be home and play, right?
that
But
was a
now go ahead,
blessing.
man. How'd it go? So as you were saying.
It was real. It was real good, real successful. It was real intimate, I would say. The whole thing from the drills to the talking, building relationships with people, it was real intimate and it was a real organized session that was something where I could thrive in and really showcase my skills even more than I've already did. So I take that as a blessing, but it definitely went good. Had some conversation with some coaches, some good words for the exchange. So it was a real blessing.
That's
It's a
dope. That's
Glad to hear
dope.
it, man. Glad to hear
Um,
it.
course.
absolutely. I got a name for you, man, and you let me know what this main name signifies to you. Brian Dawkins.
Yeah, dog.
What does Brian Dawkins mean to Andreas Keaton? Is this a player that you would say you mold your game after?
The game is played a little different than how he used to play. You know, you get
True.
thrown out the game nowadays.
You
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 play like
yeah
him,
yeah
but
that's true.
he's someone that I definitely watch, and
Mhm.
if I could play the game like him at the way football is being played now, of course I'm gonna try to implement that as much. But I just like the way he just approaches the game like a professional. He just knows how to play the game. IQ is crazy, all of that. So I love watching how he does things and how he is physical, makes tackles. He's not too cool for school. I love all those things. So I'm always eager to watch him.
So, like Brian Dawkins, does Andreas Keaton turn into a different person when he hits the field? Is he someone completely different? Does that's because we hear it all the time with NFL players? It's like they're completely different outside of the field, but once they hit the field, running out of the tunnel,
Yeah.
a different person comes out onto the field. Is that something that you think you do yourself? And if not, what does your pregame ritual look like? How do you get yourself in that mindset that you're ready to go for 4 quarters and
Yeah.
making sure people know Andreas Keaton's on the defensive side of the ball and he's gonna make you pay?
Of course. I'll definitely say I have a switch, and I think you need to have a switch so you can turn it on, turn it off. And I think as you get older, you'll learn your own switch and how to navigate yourself through practice and through a game. So I do have a flip on that I can turn on and off. You know, when it's time to step on the field, it's business. It's time to go. You know what I mean? But I'm not gonna say I just turned to a weapon X as he would call it. You know what I mean? I'm gonna turn into the successful ball player that I can be, and just with the
Mm.
mindset knowing that I gotta max out my potential this game. You know what I mean? To the best of my ability. So that's the mindset I go into it with, and then pregame ritual. I don't have nothing where I'm crawling out the tunnel, or or, or I don't
Man,
have anything that's the main thing. What I do is before every game, I put my headsets on, I walk around the field, and I talk to my mom, and that's the why behind it. So it just pushed me better, have that conversation with her, talk to her, do my stretch, and then it's time to get going.
mm,
Yes, sir.
that's amazing. That's dope, man. We talked about several things here, but talk to us a little bit about the draft process and what that's meant to you and what it takes, to prepare for such a big interview. Really, this is the biggest interview, for all 32 ball clubs. So what's that process been like for you? And now that we're at the end, now we just get to sit back and wait and see, where you're selected in the draft. But talk a little bit about, what that process has been like for you, being your first time.
It's a blessing, no matter what it looks like or how it's going, which is going good, but it's a blessing regardless. A lot of people want to get to this stage, since we're itty bitty kids. So it's a blessing to be able to go through this experiment, having the right people around me too. It's just a blessing. It's a long journey. It's been a long what's this 3 months, three and a half months, so of just working, grinding and doing X, Y, and Z's to implement this process. But it's been a real grinding and I've been enjoying every moment of it, but still maintaining the goal, keeping the main thing, trying to outwork myself every day. You know what I mean? But it has been a blessing, and I can't thank the people enough that's around me, supporting me throughout this whole situation.
Very dope, very dope. Bro, talk, you got one?
So when going through the process, I guess my question to you for the younger audience, because we do have some younger guys that are still
Mhm.
playing ball in high school that aspire
Okay.
to be where you are. What can you give any type of tips or advice of things that they should look out for, when to start navigating or ask the questions, is this an actual possibility? Can you kind of give some insight there?
I would say if you're a younger guy or want to be in the position to be able to make your dreams happen, I think it doesn't start with no one else but yourself. You know what I mean? You have to believe in yourself before anybody else does. I think that's the mindset you got to go into it. And maybe I'm talking like that because I'm just a defensive back, and that's kind of how we carry ourselves. But I think you have to have the confidence in yourself that you know you can make it, no matter who else doesn't care. You know what I mean? So I think that's the main thing. Believe it in yourself and manifest it. It's as simple as that. And, of course, you got to work and do all the hard work behind the scenes while nobody's watching. But you have to believe in yourself to get where you want to get to. Yes, sir.
I have to ask this, man. It could be crazy, man, but we all know the secondary, the safety position, last line of defense for all NFL defenses. Andreas Keaton, do you want to be the top safety eliminating that thing, or do you want to have your nose where it's not supposed to be and lay the hit stick on a ball carrier or a would-be wide receiver going through the middle of that lane? Are you a box safety? Come on, you got to give it to us, man. You got to let us know, what do you prefer, man?
I most definitely believe my strength is around that box. I now if I had to, I have versatility. I can go do this, playing the slot, this, that, and the third, play up high in the field. But I think my strong point is just my tackling, and just the stats back it up. It's just I can hang around that box and consistently be a tackler and guy. So I definitely think that's my strong suit, hanging around the box.
So
wrong with that?
With the NFL transitioning to where they are, where the nickel back position is becoming more prominent, we're now seeing guys, like what's his name, Petrie out of the Houston Texans, getting paid. Nickels are getting paid more, and he was a former safety. For someone like you, how comfortable are you transitioning from either a single high, two high, to being maybe that apex defender on the defense? How comfortable are you if a coach throws the playbook at you and says, this is where we're going to put you, and this is what you're going to do?
Well, I would love it. Truthfully, I came my freshman year. I was a slot corner. So I was already, or that nickel, you can call it, star, whatever you want. That was me the freshman year of games. So I've been there before. Now I know it's a college level, but I've done that, and I think I would definitely enjoy, really wherever they could put me, just because of just my versatility. But I would like being, next to that box, if that's that nickel spot for me. You know what I mean? I feel I can thrive there, make tackles, and just because my versatility set.
Man, I love it, man. That's
Yes,
that's
sir.
dope, man. Man, we're getting down to the wire here, so definitely just want to kind of rapid fire some of these questions that way, so you can carry on with your night, man. But your favorite pregame meal, before and after, what are you getting into, man?
Before, it's crazy because usually I don't really eat nothing but maybe like 2 or 3 noodles. I'll be like, yeah, I know, and I'll be real, because I'll be just so I'm ready to go. So before the game, rarely even nothing really, just some noodles, maybe 2 broccolis, maybe. But after the game is when I'm gonna eat. Then that's probably gonna be like a Cheesecake Factory pasta or something like that. That's where I'm going. A steak from Cheesecake. That's where I'm going after the game, though.
Berto, do you guys have cheesecake factories up in the north?
We do. We do. We
Okay.
have one. But I don't. Yeah, man. Cheesecake is Cheesecake Factory, bro.
Yeah.
I gotta ask you something, bro, because I catch a lot of flack for how I eat my steak. Right? You're doing that steak well done or medium rare? Come on, Andreas.
I'm medium rare.
There you go.
Nice.
There you go.
All right. Look,
see, get this man on the Falcons. He knows how to eat his steak.
I'll take the L.
Gotta go medium. Yes, sir.
Yeah, he knows.
Got you, man.
Berto, everyone's been telling this man he's eating jerky over there with his well done, man.
That's crazy. Y'all are crazy, man. Hey, it is what it is. I get it, man. But luckily, man, we definitely would want to know this, right? What can Falcon fans expect if your name is heard, on day 2, day 3, wherever, right? What can the Falcons expect from Andreas Keaton? if he's blessed with the opportunity to be an Atlanta Falcon?
On the field, they're gonna just be able to tell, a true ball player, a versatility guy that can fit in and adjust and get going right on the fly and make plays and consistently. Off the field, a high character guy that's gonna do right by the rules, is gonna do right and is not a problem guy, high character guy. So that's what they're gonna expect, man.
Well, you fit the mold for this current regime. We like our high character guys that stay out of trouble. So I wouldn't be surprised if we heard your name come draft night. So, shoot, now I forgot my question. Berto, back me up here. I was going to ask a question. Now I forgot it.
Oh man. We talked about Brian Dawkins for sure. Somebody that you're trying to emulate your game around. But is there a current favorite player that you enjoy watching the game? Game from, excuse me.
Of course I do like. He had a great year this year. Kirby Joseph. I love his game.
Yeah,
But,
yeah.
I really love his game. And he kind of took off. He did take off this year. But another save that I really like watching is someone named J-Ron Curse. I don't know if y'all heard of that name, but
J-Ron Curse,
Cowboy.
Yep, Cowboy now.
That's what I really like watching. I just like the way he do things. That's someone I really like watching. Yes, sir.
So now I remember my question. Thank you, Berto. That's why we work together.
Got it.
So he asked you your current favorite player. Is there a player that maybe isn't your favorite player, but someone that you would really enjoy to study with, watch film, just pick their brain to help improve your game from where you're at?
Someone to just study with. It will, of course, be a vet, and it might sound cliche because he's on the Falcons, but Jesse Bates is a guy that just
damn it.
It might sound cliche, but he's a guy that's been around the game. He's done played up north. He done played down south. He knows the game too well. Just by the way he moves, it's smooth. It's almost like he's moving in faster than everybody else, and he's not even really going. He's just always in the right spot at the right time. So I would definitely say him as a true person. I would like to just see how he does things. So man, he's a real good one. I'm trying to think of anybody else, but it'll definitely be him or Donovan over at Cowboys. I like to sit down with him. He might go on the radar, but he's a guy that I also like to watch. Sit down and watch film with. I just think those are vets of the game and know what they're doing. Minka Fitzpatrick, one of my favorite safeties. Those guys just know too much, and I think you would be limiting yourself if you don't take the time to ask them questions.
I got something else for you. You don't have to say teams, right? You've had your meetings, your interviews, phone calls. We always hear stories about the crazy questions some of these teams ask prospects. What's the craziest thing a team's asked you? And you don't have to tell us who it was, but if you wouldn't mind sharing, what's the craziest thing that kind of made you say, like, are they for real asking me this question?
I probably, man. I something about my one time, like it was something about it was something about my parent, like it was something about my dad's job, but it was like the way they asked it, they could have just said, "What does your dad do for a living?" But the way they asked it was, it was just like it just was. They could have made it simpler than what it was.
Yeah, they kind of beat around the bush when they could have just shot you straight and said, "Hey, can you tell us what your dad does?"
Yeah, but that was probably something around the bush. What y'all looking for? Yeah,
that's crazy, man. That's crazy. Man.
I remember that. It was
and then I have Berto, if you're cool.
Go ahead. Yeah.
If you wouldn't mind sharing, Andreas, usually agents kind of pick up their players' names and who to kind of look out for come draft night. If you wouldn't mind sharing, are there teams your agent said, "Hey, I'm hearing good noise from these teams"?
Yeah, it's some stuff going on, but I truly can't share.
Okay.
No. Yeah.
So sorry about that, but
No, you're good,
No,
man.
you're good, bro.
Is
No, you're good. You're good.
Well, that's good.
so
I'm glad to hear that your agent's
Exactly.
saying that you've got some noise going around your name. So don't worry about not sharing. I had to ask. I figured you wouldn't be able to share, but that's great to hear.
of course, appreciate you.
So I gotta ask this because we both from up north. I'm in Rhode Island. If you know where Rhode Island is, that's where I'm located. You down the
Okay,
road
look,
in Philly, bro. What's one thing you hate about up north?
it's the southern to northern hospitality is different. Like I'm from Georgia, I'm down south. Like the northern
Yo,
hospitality is so much different than the southern hospitality is wild. Like
And I can agree with you because
yep.
I'm from Texas and I know
Mhm.
exactly what you're talking
yeah,
about. It's
it's wild.
completely different.
That's why. That's the one thing I got to say. Yes,
I
sir.
bet, man. Philly's a wild crowd, man. You get used to them. They call everything John down there. You see this,
They got
John?
their
You see
own
this,
slang.
John? They got their own slang, man.
Yeah,
So
they
if
got
you
their
ain't
own
with it,
slang.
bro, it's hard to adapt, man. It's
Yeah.
definitely hard to adapt. But Andreas, we know that your time has come, and man, we just thank you so very much for coming through and spending this half hour with us, man. Just giving us some insight on how it was, your upbringing, your NFL
Yeah.
process, what your makeup is, and what you choose violence on the football field, and that's a beautiful thing. That's something the Atlanta Falcons need. But I'm just putting it out there. But definitely, man, if there's any parting words you would like to say to the public, man, please, the floor is yours. Go on and just shout out whomever you have to, man.
I'm thankful for my whole support tab. That's it. That's the main thing. My family and my close loved ones and my agents. I thank you for them. They're the ones that had my back throughout this whole process, and and including God. And so that's the main thing. No big speech, but that's the main thing. Keeping them first.
Man, damn. That's real, man. We definitely do appreciate you, man. I'll say this, man, right on there, man. God bless you. I hope that you reap the benefits from next weekend. We hope to hear your name called early by our Atlanta Falcons, preferably, but wherever you go, man, just know, man, you got two guys on the opposite side screen cheering you on and cheering for you, man, wherever you land, man. So blessings to you and your family, man, and just continue the journey, man. Never
Thank
lose your
y'all.
humbleness, man. Never lose your humbleness, man. Just keep your head going straight, man. You got a bright future ahead of you, Andreas, man. Thank you so much,
Okay.
brother.
Thank y'all.
Andreas,
Appreciate y'all.
Andreas, don't lose my contact over there. No matter where you land, we'll bring you back on. All right.
Yes,
Hell
sir. I
yeah.
got you.
All
Yes,
right.
sir.
All right, man.
Thank you, sir. Have a
Blessings,
good
brother.
one.
You have a
Yes,
great
sir.
night. Thank you again, man.
Yes, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Andreas Keaton, a draft hopeful next week and next week's draft safety out of Temple. Bro Talk, that was amazing. Such a great way to just get some insight from a prospect himself, man. Just taking us through the grind, what that process looks like, the awkward questions, because there are a lot of awkward questions, but just seeing his makeup, and wow, man, just the way that he spoke is the mold of what a Falcon player is, right? Integrity, just good character, good discipline. I really have high hopes for that young man, and hopefully, he does land here in Atlanta, man. It's a position of need. Some say that it may not be, but listen, man, this Falcons organization does such a great job finding gems. Andreas Keaton out of Temple could be that hidden gem in this year's draft.
Yeah, I mean, I feel blessed that we were able to get him here. It's our reporting eligible's first draft prospect that we've gotten to get on here, and it was cool to get an insight and just talk ball. And he seems like he's a student of the game, and he wants to put his best foot forward. And I agree, he fits the mold of what Terry Fontenot and crew like to bring in. To hear him say Jesse Bates is someone he would love to learn from and study with and watch film, because he's right. The game doesn't seem too fast for Jesse. Jesse just understands it. And for someone like an aspiring prospect to say that, and, if he lands here, we know he's in good hands, because he's going to have that, all pro safety in the room with him.
Yeah. Well, I got Carrie coming at me over here. She's like, no Southern hospitality in the North. I hate that. Laugh out loud. It's them damn Yankees up north. Also, that cold weather. I could never. You're damn right. It's cold for like 6 months out of the year up here, man. We rarely get summers We get more fall-like weather and winter weather than anything else, man. It's garbage, man. But yeah, shout out to everybody in the chat joining us this evening. Also, man, so many of you in here. We definitely appreciate the time you guys coming through and just watching the episode, man. Just trying to put out some feel-good content, man. Tonight's guest was definitely that, man. So we definitely cheering him on. But rounding out some news that's going around the NFL, or more so for the Atlanta Falcons, pro days. We all know Jalen Walker couldn't do his original pro day last month. Now April is here, obviously, and he was able to complete his. He was in Atlanta. Michael was also in Atlanta. Your thoughts right quick on both of those prospects. And I'm sure the whole Falcons brass was there. So what say you, man?
Well, I'm going to correct. Tomorrow is their workout.
Yeah, tomorrow. Yep, tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow is their workout, but I fully expect all the brass to be there. Terry, Raheem, Jeff, Ulbrich being there. If it were up to me and they were both on the board, I'm taking Michael Williams over Jalen Walker. Jalen Walker to me is too much of a tweener. He doesn't show what you would want if you're, a lot of people are listing him as edge, right? You and I have talked and we're kind of like, oh, he fits more of like an off ball, like a Caden Ellis, Frankie Lulu type guy. But a lot of people view him as an edge. And to me, it's like, when you watched Micah Parsons coming out of Penn State, you were like, yeah, that's the dude.
That's an edge, yeah.
Jalen Walker had highlight tape against Texas, and that's it.
Yeah.
And that's it. Michael Williams is a constant against the run, and he had his bright spots where, everyone talks about his ceiling in the pass rush game throughout the entire year. Only 4.5 sacks, but you saw him win reps. You saw him get the quarterback and get some hits. So if it were up to me, I would go Michael over Jalen.
Yeah, and I've been warming up to the possibility of Michael, to the Falcons at 15. I just think of the defensive coordinator on hand now, Jeff Ulbrich, and what he likes from his defensive ends. It's bigger guys, those big defensive ends. Michael definitely fits the bill at 6'5". And, we could see a base defense where it's Zach Harrison, who we're all hoping there is an uptick in production, man. This is a kid that is under, just seldom used and not used properly. So hopefully Ulbrich can bring something out of him. Not just Ulbrich, but Nate Ali as well, our defensive line coach. But a base formation where it's them two on the ends, both of them great run stoppers. I just feel like Michael offers a little bit more in the and with the reps and the getting after the quarterback. So that's definitely a plus. He can turn right away into a 3-down player right from day one. So I'm warming up to the possibility of Michael to the Falcons at 15. And who knows, right? Not a Terry-like thing or a Falcon-like thing. We don't typically trade in the first round. That's usually saved for the second round. Any whispers or anything crazy out there that's catching your attention as far as the Falcons at 15? Do you feel like there may be an underlying move where they trade back a few spots?
So I am hearing whispers. I had someone reach out to me and say, they're trying, right? But also that a lot of teams are also trying to trade back. And from what I've gathered, of course, this source isn't like super legit, right? I'm just going off of the info. Some of the info they've given me is legit. Some of them hasn't matched up, but the offensive tackle talk is all smoke. They're not going that way. They're trying to bait teams wanting an offensive tackle to jump ahead of them and potentially trade with them. Sure. But the Falcons are trying to stay in front of Tampa. So there's really only 3 teams we're trying to trade with: the Cardinals, the Bengals, and the Seahawks. Those are only 3 picks. I think if we were able to trade with them, if it actually happens on day one, with either of them, you gain a 4th at least, potentially a 3rd, and that's already 1 more draft pick that we don't have. But from what I heard, it's defense. And I know my draft crush, Mike Green, they believe that he'll be gone before 15. So
I'm starting to get that feeling too, man.
Yeah.
I'm starting to get that feeling too, man.
Yeah. I asked the question to them. I'm like, what happens if Mike Green is there? Like, what happens? Does that throw the whole board off? And they said no. They would just stick to the guy that they were targeting
originally.
Yeah. So I'm like, damn.
Man, Mike Green, I seen him go as high as 11 to San Francisco. And I say high, but
Can
the
you
Frisco
imagine
at
him
11.
with Nick Bosa?
But that's the play right there. Look at Nick Bosa's production this past year versus other years where he's had another counterpart, Javon Hargrave at one point, wreaking havoc in the middle of their defense. It made life easier for Nick on the outside in 1v1s where, obviously he has the superior strength to just take over a tackle and take over a game. So that I would like to see that, to be honest with you. Mike Green and the San Francisco 49ers uniform, that would be fun. Now, I'm not trying to hate. Of course, we try to get everybody we can to these Falcons, but just as an NFL fan overall, that would be an interesting duo right there. Those two guys screaming off the edge for Frisco.
But, I mean, I think defensive line, I know the 49ers, bringing them up is a good point. I think defensive line is more likely for them than offensive line. So some of our top guys on our boards could be taken, Jalen Walker, I haven't seen enough people mock him to the 49ers, but if he falls outside the top 10, that's someone I could see land with the 49ers, especially to replace someone like Dre Greenlaw. I wouldn't see him as an edge in that Robert Salah, but I'd see him as a simulated pressure guy that could develop and replace Dre Greenlaw. But, Kenneth Grant, Derek Harmon, Walter Nolan, like all those guys could end up in a 49ers uniform. I like that, to me feels it, but I also have a feeling that Will Johnson will be a 49er as well.
Yeah, right. I mean, there's been so many mocks, and I'm just glad that all of these mocks are soon coming to an end when we get the official lineup next Thursday night, man. We've all done our homework. We've all done our mocks, man. And man, a lot of the times we're never right. It's so crazy. It's so crazy. Man, it's crazy. But here's one right here, and this is something we were talking about before we went on air, and what Jeff Ulbrich means to the Atlanta Falcons as our defensive coordinator. As we remember his time as a player with the 49ers as a linebacker. Could this be something that the Falcons can? I'm not going to say shock anybody, but pivot towards, right? If a lot of the guys that they've had on their board are not there, not saying that Jihad is not high on their board, he may or may not be, but if Jihad is there, is there a possibility that Terry Fontenot and Raheem say, "Hey, Jeff, here's your gift. What can you do with a kid like this with Jihad Campbell? This is a guy that can do coverage. He can also rush too. So you have the best of both worlds with Jihad Campbell. What say you on the Jihad Campbell to the Falcons? So wait, I'm sorry, don't mean to cut you off. Heavily linked name in the beginning has fizzled out a lot too. So
yeah, it fizzled out a lot. It really looked like we were pivoting to linebacker because Jamie and Sherwood re-signed, and we were like, oh well, there it is. We kind of figured out who we're going to be, because especially like you said, Jeff Ulbrich, former linebacker, needs a speedy guy in the middle that can cover deep when he calls those Tampa twos, or to carry those tight ends, whether we're playing match coverage or not. But then you sign Divine Diablo, right? A converted safety, not as good a prospect as Campbell. So I wouldn't say that signing completely eliminated, but it kind of showed you that maybe Campbell wasn't that guy anymore, because honestly, I think Campbell's only the only linebacker in this group that should go in the first round. It's a weak linebacker.
It is very weak.
The linebacker class is much stronger next year than it is this year. It's like the quarterback class. Weak this year, next year, if you can hold out. And I think that's what the Falcons may do. But if they really love Jihad Campbell and he's there, I personally would love the pick. It just shows that, someone that can rush the passer. We know what Caden can do, and that could rotate in. You could maybe Troy Anderson's on his way out. Maybe they've kind of given up on that project piece because he, unfortunately, as good as glimpses of we've seen from Troy, just can't stay healthy. It sucks because I like Troy. I thought he would develop real nicely. It's just he can't stay on the field. So if Jihad Campbell's the pick, I think fans should be excited.
Very much so. I'm in the niche crowd. I would like a Walter Nolan. I really do. I really would. I always say, man, I think it needs to be on and popping in the middle of a defense to allow the guys on the outside, the edge rushers, to eat a little bit, better and sleep a little bit better at night with the matchups they got coming against. Because let's face it, man, the blueprint. Got to talk at the blueprint, man. Philly did it. They did it in the Super Bowl, and it was with consistent good pass rush on the inside to allow those guys on the outsides to just do their thing, pin their ears back, and rush the passer. But who knows, right? There's been talks Walter Nolan, maybe. There's been talks Kenneth Grant. You know, at 15 it can go a bevy of ways, but nobody knows.
I think now that you're kind of talking about Walter Nolan, you know, you and I texted a little bit earlier, or maybe it was someone else. I think it was you. Jeff Ulbrich loves to run, you know, those wide 9 fronts.
Yeah,
even front, you know, where you have your 3 techniques on both sides,
yeah.
and where it's even. So Walter Nolan just makes sense. He's not a 0 like A&M like to play him sometimes, or a 1. Get him in the 3 to 4 eye, maybe a 2, and let him thrive. That's where he would thrive. And then occasionally, if you want to put him at the 1, okay. But his primary spot should be the 3. So if Ulbrich's going to be running those fronts like that, and even with wide 9s, yeah, Walter Nolan sounds like the guy. Can you highlight Kerry's question? I want to hear what you have to say. This last one.
This one?
Best player available.
Jahad Campbell. Yep.
Michael
Williams
or Mike
Green. Who are you taking at 15? God damn it, Kerry. You know, I got to go Mike Green. I got to go Mike Green if that's the case, man. It's what he adds, man. Pop, power, speed, spin move. He's complete to me, man. And
as a pass rusher.
So we need that. We've sorely missed that. It's been what? 16 years since Abraham ever suited up for the Falcons.
And I agree with you. I'm Mike Green all the way, because you can put him in those key. We talk about this. I've talked about this all the time. Put him in those long and down situations where you know it's going to be pass.
Yeah.
You let Nate Ollie and the other coaches develop his ability in the run game, get a feel for the NFL, because in college he was good, but he can be better. And then learning how to drop in coverage. Because yes, even though he's a pass rusher, the NFL, TJ Watt does it. I think Myles Garrett's the only one that doesn't. Micah Parsons does it. They all drop into coverage from time to time, because they are such a focal point that the defense, you never know, the protection may slide to their way. And guess what? He's bailing in coverage.
Yeah.
So that's stuff he's got to develop. But as far as year 1, let him do what he showed you on tape that he's able to do, and that's win in pass rush and get to the quarterback and get there fast.
Exactly. We all saw, you know, his RAS score, man. It was through the roof, man. A lot of elite traits coming from Mike Green, man. The 3-cone was vicious.
Ooh, that was
our brother here, Jones Bones. You know, he's Jones Bones is the man.
Fanatic.
The Falcons have a chance to pour a lot of money into QB, wide receiver, and running back over the next 3 to 5 years. I think it's trenches all day, because they need money saved at premium spots. Yeah.
I mean, we did that with Matt Ryan and Julio.
And Julio.
You had to, you know, sometimes the defense fell short because of that, because the talent wasn't found right. But yeah, I agree with Jones. If Penix pans out, he's going to warrant a lot of money. If Bijan continues his trajectory, you know he's going to get paid. Drake London's due for a contract soon. We've got that 5th-year option in our pocket, but you and I have talked. I'd rather extend him now while the market's still low, right? I think he makes right around T. Higgins money, maybe a little bit less. But if the Falcons wait, that market's just going to continue to climb. I mean, so will the salary cap, but the numbers are just going to keep getting bigger and bigger. So, yeah, I agree. You know, draft now, develop. The more the merrier on defense, and let's pay the offensive stars, because let's be real, those besides edge rusher, the offense gets the money.
Yeah, you know, edge is the theme in Atlanta. Would it surprise you if Atlanta went back-to-back picks on edge?
No,
not at all.
They need to, you know, they need to crowd that room. You know, maybe guys that have versatility to kick down into a 4-eye or a 3, maybe like a Zach Harrison type. You know, we compared Zach Harrison to prospect Jared Ivey coming out of Ole Miss, and I compared Jared Ivey to Danico Autry, and then it kind of hit me. I was like, well, Nate Ollie's just was there in Houston, Danico Autry. So don't be surprised if Zach Harrison does kick out to the 5, 6, or 9, and then also plays some 3. Kicking in with Leonard Floyd right next to him. So,
oh man, it's a passing situation, passing down.
Ooh, yeah, get some power, some pocket collapsers. But no, you know, the more the merrier in those rotations. I always go back and I always think to what Leonard Floyd said in his press conference here in Atlanta. It's like a basketball team. You want to rotate the guys so everyone stays fresh, and it's like the ones are still out there because I mean, if you really think about it, yeah, you have the starters, but defensive guys, they get to rotate. It's the offensive line guys that are there every single snap, you know?
Yeah. I did a mock draft earlier today on Bleacher, 7-round mock. It's available there for viewing. And I did a small trade back with Seattle, gained an extra 3rd round in doing so. But I went back to back edge. I went Donovan Azuruko, and then I went Brady Swinson from LSU back-to-back picks. I look at it this way, too. We have a lot of expiring contracts, too, on tap, right? Leonard Floyd's not here past next year. We don't know what Arnold Ebiketie is going to do this year. We got to remember this is his, 3rd defensive coordinator that he's playing since he's been in the league. So it's like, all right, so we got to wait for him yet another year possibly, while he learns this playbook. Are we going to get the same production out of him? Is Atlanta even going to entertain re-signing him after next year? So we have to have, more into the room, like you mentioned, just to play it safe also for, folks potentially exiting within the next year or two. We have a quick question here from Ray. Do you think we make a move for Jalen Ramsey, the hot name going around the NFL circuit, as he, announced earlier that, he wants to trade? He's done with the Dolphins, I guess.
They mutually agreed to a trade, which typically means that a trade's already – well, I want out, and then they may already have a partner. Is Atlanta in the works? I've heard that, of course, they have interest, right? I'm not talking about a certain insider online. I've heard it from my people that, yes, there is interest there. And we saw what Jalen Ramsey said about Coach Raheem Morris when he was hired. Very high praise for him. And then, Raheem Morris says the same thing. A lot of people are pointing to Jalen Ramsey taking the Charles Woodson, career trajectory, going from corner, moving to safety, kind of let him roam the middle of the field because he's very instinctual. He's a physical guy, one of the most physical corners of the era. One of the most physical corners, and it can translate to safety. So my biggest question is, and I haven't looked at his contract in depth, how do the numbers work? Because the Falcons are also a team looking to dump a big contract.
Exactly.
I don't think is still out of the realm. The percentage of it likely happening has gone down with certain teams making certain moves. But how does that work, right? This is the year where it's like, okay, do the Falcons convert his salary if a trade happens and add void years? Like, he'll be 31 and he'll be 31 by the season start.
By the start of the season.
Yeah, I think he's still playing good ball to where he could elevate our secondary, but what's it going to cost? That's always what it comes down to. And you know me, Berto, I'm all about, let's do the trade.
Let's get it.
Let's send it. But I haven't done enough research on Ramsey's contract to be confident and say, yeah, we can do that.
Yeah, I think he's still owed, or the team trading for him takes on like 21 million or something like that.
It's fully guaranteed. It's a fully guaranteed. And he's got 4 years left on his the current contract that he has.
And for Atlanta's sake too, a player at 30, having 2 of the top paid corners doesn't make sense, right? On a team that has other needs at other positions. Do you really want to pour so much resource on the cornerback position?
I just had a light bulb moment. We've been talking about nickel for so long. Hey,
hello.
Jalen, hello. In the Rams system, just like the Ravens, when they would go nickel when Raheem was there, Ramsey
traveled inside.
He would travel. He would come to the line of scrimmage on a 5-by-1 front and play run support, and he did well. So there's nothing that says that Ramsey couldn't do the same thing now. So nickel for Jalen Ramsey? Hello. I'm intrigued by that. That
absolutely
immediately helps if we put him in the nickel.
It definitely does, man. The creativity Jeff Ulbrich would have at his disposal year one as our DC would be phenomenal. Shout out right quick to one time for the fan, Jack Spade and company, man. Thank you so much for tuning in. We definitely appreciate it. And Alberto, this is your type of season. Show us the money. One time for the fan. Fantastic Falcons content creating group. Make sure you go visit them on YouTube and hit them with a subscription too, man. Our brother A1 Forever, Chris Tipmore, is in the house. Chris, what is going on? I've seen you doing big things this morning with T-Will. No one's more, oh my God, T-Will. Shout out T-Will from One Time for the Fan. Brother, he is
live.
on in the morning, at noon, brunch. I mean, on your way home from work, at dinner time. T-Will's got you covered, man. Shout out to them, man. He's putting in work. So is A1 Forever Sports, who had a fantastic show early on today. I believe I saw him on with Smitty as well. So shout out to you, gentlemen. But yeah, man, the time has come, man. Anything you want to add before we head out of here, man?
Man, the draft, like, it feels like forever that we got here, and we're 1 week away. You know, we'll be live, guys, for the draft. We'll be making some special appearances on some other shows, popping in before the draft, but we'll be live. 8 p.m. Eastern Central. So if you guys want to tap in and kind of bar hop the shows, because I know a lot of creators are going to be live.
Yeah.
You know, we'd love to have you here. You know, me and Berto give you genuine reactions to whatever the Falcons do.
Whatever we do, man.
We'll be doing the whole first round. We'll be giving you insight and thoughts on what every team does, whether it was a reach or not. And yeah, man, you know, Berto, I don't know. I can't remember if we talked about this. I won't be here next Wednesday. Yeah, I have some personal business I got to take care of, but you can catch me back here next Thursday for the draft.
For the draft. Shout out my guy, ATLGA Faithful, another fantastic Atlanta Falcon content creator. Always gives his 2 cents, great opinions on anything Atlanta Falcons, dope videos as well. Make sure you go visit ATLGA Faithful on YouTube and hit him with that subscription as well. Who else is in there? King Richie, what is going on, man? T. Terry, thank you, man. We thank everybody for tuning in this evening. Just to recap right quick, man, we had draft hopeful Andreas Keaton out of Temple, safety prospect, come through the show, man. He was gracious enough to give us a half hour of his time, just to come through and talk about the NFL process as a whole, and what took him to what led him to next week, man. Hopefully he gets his name called, but he was there to share his thoughts, man. So we definitely appreciate him. For Bro Talk, man, like you mentioned, he'll be back Thursday for draft night. I'll be back Thursday night for draft night as well. We'll get it on and popping. We'll be bar hopping and whatnot. We'll be on One Time for the Fan with Jack and company. Then we'll be over here. We'll be here, there, and everywhere. I think all of us, like you mentioned, are going to be doing the whole.
Rotating.
We're just rotating, man. We're just rotating. It's going to be fun, and it's what a time to be alive. And exactly those words will be echoed next week because it's going to be a fun night. But for that, man, I'm your boy Berto. Go ahead.
Hold on, T.
Sure.
Terry. Didn't I tell you this is a Batman and Superman show?
Oh man.
Didn't I tell you that last week? You decide who's who.
Hey, look,
but
man.
This is a Justice League meeting, okay?
Sheesh. Uh-oh. Man, look, bring your, what's that say? Credit card? I got bad credit, bro. As a matter, I can't get nothing, man. I can't get nothing on layaway.
Berto said he's got the pizza for everyone, all Falcons creators.
Bring your credit card. Hey, man, he be on that Tito's and stuff like that. I mean, Jack Spade owns his own golf course, for those that don't know. Perfect reaction.
Is that right?
Jack Spade.
He's
always out there golfing and whatnot, in Nike Air Force Air Maxes and whatnot, just hitting the tee, man, with him and Big Low. I know where the money's at. I gotta hit them up. I gotta hit them up.
Like, I'm gonna be late for my tea time. Every time you're live.
Exactly.
I'm gonna be late for I better call and let them know my tea time. I got to push back my tea time.
I got Zelle, Jack. I got Zelle. You got the digits. Send me something, man.
Oh man.
Oh, Chris over here with the Denzel Washington meme, my man. But man, listen, man, I'm your boy Berto, host of the 95 North Falcons talk show and your official Bleacher Report content creator for these Atlanta Falcons. Quick news too, tomorrow night from 4 to 7, exclusively on the Bleacher Report app, we will be having a 32 team mock draft, all 32 creators on, and we'll be, slicing and dicing, talking shit, whatever you want to call it. We'll be there doing that, making our picks for our respective teams. So hopefully we can get some of y'all to go over there and come support these Atlanta Falcons, man. But until then, we'll give you a Wednesday evening back, and we'll tune in next week. Draft, baby. It's finally here. So for Bro Talk, I'm Berto. We'll catch y'all soon, man. Peace, everybody.